So yes, it looks like players are running into a very big in-game problem that is stirring up a lot of discussion here. We're going to talk about that. Also, we're going to be talking about a weapon type that seems to be very neglected. A lot of the community wants this to be actually buffed. And yes, we're going to talk more about bosses and your top comments. But check it out right here. It says, which version of Ultimate Valby do you prefer, the Charismatic Red or the Crystal Clear Blue? Sound off in the comments down below which one you're going to be going for. I'm kind of curious. I like the Crystal Blue. That's the one I think I'm going to go for sure. All right, so yes, let's get straight into those in-game problems. Check out this topic right here. It says, Nexon, please fix mod capacity. And they give an example here, 23 crystallization catalysts on 3 total descendants that come with 4 polarities each, 20 plus hours of farming, 184 hours of crafting, 40 plus hours of leveling, result 3 unchangeable builds. This has 2,200 upvotes. By far the most discussed topic here. It says, wow, players are so engaged. Nexon. But yeah, to follow up on this one, this is definitely a good companion post here to this topic. It says they need to change the polarity system. In the end game, you are supposed to have access to more builds, not less. Who in their right mind thought it was a good idea to lock up a slot under a specific module type, and unless another catalyst is used to repolarize it, other builds can't be played? This is ridiculous. I want to play other builds of my descendants. There's a huge variety of modules, which is good. So it seems the devs want us to explore, but then repolarizing is very expensive, demotivating players from even thinking about it. I really hope the devs do something about it. And once again, Warframe is always mentioned as the example. It says in Warframe, it's like 60 mod point cap, 8 slots with a ring slot, 12 points extra, and most mods cost 9, 10, 11. So most of the time, 2 to 3 forma is more than enough to fully equip a frame, leave 4 to 6 slots free to change. While in this game, almost all important mods are 15 out of 16 cost and 10 slots with 80 point max, which means you need every single slot polarized to fully equip a descendant, which is pure evil in my opinion. And a reply here from the original poster. Exactly, it's like they shamelessly copied Warframe, but made it more predatory. This system needs to change. I'm seeing it discussed intensely now. So again, it's going to be up to Nexon as to what they want to do about adjusting the system, if they plan to actually adjust it, because this is a free-to-play game, and like that word predatory always comes to mind. Let's hope that they can take a moment here and listen to the community and give us some sort of update as to their plans on how they can potentially make in-game players happy, because we are seeing a little bit of a retention drop with this game currently. I think players are kind of somewhat getting frustrated by the build variety in the late game and just being stuck. So mentioning player retention, we also have this right here. Player retention. Good afternoon, everybody. This message is primarily for the First Descendant team. Please make the Descendant module presets and the weapon module presets independent of one another. As it stands now, I have fully upgraded my left BCC build with every mod slot having an assigned type, which after quite a bit of extensive testing, I was finally happy with. So I thought now it is time to spend another few weeks making a boss loadout. I was so excited to do this since I absolutely love the game. However, once I switched to the second Descendant setting to make said boss loadout, I quickly found if I changed a mod type on setting 2, it changed on setting 1 and 3 also. What a huge disappointment for me, because now, rather than spending money and or time to open and retype setting 2 mod slots for my boss build, I am now forced to just choose just one of them and run a less powerful hybrid build between them. This problem is not limited to just the character. It is the same with the weapons. Nexon, can you please look into possibly adding this quality of life aspect to the game? I know for me, if you were to make this small change, it would add months of fun and goals for me to accomplish and enjoy before I became bored and moved on until you release new content. Either way, if this is something that you could possibly do or have zero plans on doing, would you just let me know? A simple response to this question would be greatly appreciated. Now, he has a PS here. Both myself and the group I play with are amazed and impressed on how you have handled adversity and obstacles within the game so far. Great choice on leaving the Valby farm for all people who invested in that character. What a massive win for player-developer relationship. Yeah, and I have to go and say I do agree with him that Nexon has been handling things very brilliantly so far. Again, we'll see if they can continue this trend in the long term. But this, again, is really an issue. The in-game in its entirety, there are things that need to be adjusted with quality of life improvements that will keep players around, that retention at a really, really good level. And also players excited to hop back in and stick around for the new content, of course. But if they're having issues with builds and they know that that's going to be waiting for them, they're going to struggle to be excited, to stick with a new character, a new Descendant, and what have you. So this definitely does need to be adjusted. All right, next up, we have this one right here. Do people not know some materials only drop from stealth? I've been seeing a lot of nonsensical hostility towards Sharon's offering to stealth outposts to the point where I'm wondering if those players are just unaware that it's not just extra rewards, but rewards that only have a chance to drop if the outpost is stealth. Like, I've had players argue for minutes in the chat instead of waiting the 10 seconds for 2 Sharons to knock out the reactors. Even had a guy tell me, Kyle, and 2 Sharons to go private so he, Bunny, can keep nuking everything. It seems like some people lack the patience for Sharons to get things done. It says, sadly, there's no apparent description about the stealth. I was the one not knowing that until Sharon player told me. Yeah, it's that lack of information, the lack of tutorials. Once again, that is also a problem. Check it out. It says, there's no point to using pistols. This is what I was kind of talking about earlier in the video when we first started, in that there is a weapon type here that seems to be very lackluster. And I'll be honest with you, I don't find any use for pistols. And also, let me know if there's any other weapon types that you feel like that need some buffing. But it says this: I don't understand why they're in the game in this state. Miles off even tactical rifles, and those aren't exactly amazing either. Also, why all the automatics? I would much rather use a semi-auto pistol. That would be badass, especially if they had a high crit rate or status proc. Just anything to make them worth using. Even the 2 ultimate pistols I have are completely underwhelming to use. Tons of upvotes here. Pistols has a very high movement speed and high status application. So some people are finding some use for them. It's just that others are also saying, hey, they kind of feel underwhelming. And then we have this as well. They do have one purpose: more rounds for my tamer. I can carry 850 rounds simply by modding my pistol with max general rounds, and the other mod that converts ammo to general rounds. So there you go. It says, hold up. You can use another general rounds weapon as an ammo bag with the right mods. And the response is here: yep, no more running out of ammo on boss fights. It's a game changer. And yeah, he's realizing this changes everything. I've been running out of ammo on my hand cannon. Wish I had realized this. So yeah, you can basically use a pistol. So if you have that third weapon slot, that you're not really utilizing, well, now you can have a purpose for it as kind of like an ammo bag with that pistol in there with some mods attached to. So that's pretty cool to see. Also, yeah, we've talked about AFK, but we haven't talked about this aspect of it. Check it out. It says, AFK hall monitors are just as bad as AFKers. I was farming for a weapon mod in Vespers. Me and Viesa do the 5-minute missions 3 times with no issues, and they leave. I run solo twice with no issues. Then comes an ultimate bunny. We run the mission 3 times, and they nuke everything. I don't get to kill a single thing. I'm playing Spider-Man Simulator, trying to keep up. And it says, so next reset, I stay in the mission at the start. He nukes everything and I reset. He nukes everything. I reset again. He hops in chat and tells me I'm AFK farming him and leaves. I finish the mission and whisper him saying, you are nuking everything and I'm unable to kill anything. I said, if you want people to be active, to not use the 3-hit ability and nuke the map. This dude said he would rather me walk beside him instead of staying at the mission start. Pardon me, what? I'm not your companion. He references the AFK message on the login screen and that I shouldn't sit and do anything. Bro, you are nuking everything. I am doing nothing regardless. At least staying by mission start resets the mission quicker and is a more efficient farm. The audacity of I am supposed to follow him around and keep him company is wild. It almost sounds like a troll big time right there. Very strange interaction right there. But yeah, it goes to show that there needs to be adjustments with the balance of descendants and characters for sure. I am not suggesting a nerf whatsoever. I'm suggesting more of buffs. I've mentioned this before. Buffing Descendants outside of Bunny, and then perhaps adjusting difficulty based off of those buffs, you know? And then even eventually, I hope that we do get an entirely new difficulty as well. I think that would be a really, really good middle ground for solving this problem for sure. All right, so next up, we have this one right here. Remember when Ultimate Descendant helmets had animations during the beta? This is really cool, and it would be cool to see this kind of return. As you could see, check it out here. I don't know what use this would have exactly in terms of like in-game, but it would be cool to see at least like when you are sitting there, you know, editing your Descendant or in the stats screen, that sort of thing would be very, very cool. Now we got to talk about bosses. It says the bosses are doing way too much unavoidable damage. Let me know if you guys agree with this. It says if the boss targets you, have fun. You're going to spend the next 30 to 60 seconds running, grappling, and hiding, crossing your fingers that you'll survive the barrage of BS coming your way. And that's if you have fully leveled up HP and defense up modules, of course. If you don't, just take the L. They also need to explain mechanics, the Hangman or Frostwalker. Maybe they want to promote having a healer. I'll admit that I'm playing alone, but I don't even remember the last time I saw a Yujin or a Jaber. And if it's what they want, they should promote queuing as a support. Oh, that would be cool. Barrage of BS is exactly what I call Swamp Walker's homing missile barrage the first time he used it on me. So yeah, this is another thing that was talked about earlier when this game launched, is the targeting needs to be nerfed. But then again, a lot of people are also kind of frustrated that people want, I guess you would say some people are feeling like that's nerfing the difficulty out of the game and they want it to be challenging. So let me know what side of the fence you are on, if you think targeting should be adjusted, if it should be somewhat nerfed. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. All right, so let's get into your top comments. Remember, leave a comment down below. It could end up in a future video. Let's do this. All right, so the first comment is this one. They are changing the gameplay for Ultimate Valby. They aren't. They are giving her 2 Transcendent mods like every other Ultimate, phrasing it like they're making her different from normal Valby is gonna con some people into buying it immediately instead of being willing to wait and farm it out. Ultimate Valby will play exactly the same as normal Valby unless you get the new Transcendent mods, which means that she won't exactly play like the normal Valby, which was kind of my point. Yeah, my worries might be a little bit off there, of course. But my point is, Ultimate Valby is going to be geared towards, it seems like, facing off against Gluttony. And I did even say in the video, hey, it looks like a lot of players are going to be farming for Ultimate Valby this go around. And I didn't really say, go out and buy her. You know, I even said, hey, you're going to want to definitely farm for her, which a lot of people will be doing immediately, I'm sure, when the July 31st update comes out. But yeah, I will definitely work on my wording for sure. All right, so yes, Demoralized Farmer is the most appropriate title. Yes, indeed. It says, I have a tip that I found super helpful that people don't think of. Set your scan button as your aim button. You'll always have a weak point lit up. You don't have to consciously scan anymore. You are substantially more aware of enemies around you because they get highlighted. It will give a warning. They have multiple things bound to the same key, but you can just say okay and carry on. Oh, that's actually a really good idea. Let me know if anyone else is actually going to be doing this. Interesting. All right, so yes, stay tuned here for more news and updates about the First Descendant. As always, I have you guys covered on this one. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Take care.